Sailor Tarot Magic is the spot to get a reading from Sally, an intuitive healer and tarot reader. Known as the Nurturing Reader at New Jersey street fairs, you can also check out our YouTube channel for lunar and astro readings, as well as our Instagram for live weekly readings. Her rates are affordable, and you will leave with a newfound perspective. Sally is now offering an introductory class on tarot cards and intuition, and is available for parties. Call or text 732-314-0777 to schedule your reading today.
McGarvey on the bottom, 46. Dallas Sullivan has the room to push here. 80 car shoving hard. Ups, there's the block. There's the block into the outside wall. 746 wrecking now. 80 car maybe having to move. There's the block again. Oh. BTDY, Martin Sports 160, live at Talladega this week, back at Super Speedway Racing. And after a little bit of a hiatus, I've got my guy back up here in the booth with me, Eric Hutton. We're going to be racing side by side, 3 wide, 4 wide even, as they get ready to set up the grid here at Talladega. What should we expect?
Yeah, always an exciting time here at Talladega. Hopefully we'll get a new set of guys running up front than what we typically see, and get some guys maybe that don't have the speed week after week, a chance to win. But gonna be a lot of 2 and 3 wide racing, hopefully, and a lot of pit strategy and teamwork, and should be a good show.
Well, let's take you through your grid. Starting on the pole, 54.37 seconds. Garrett Austin starting up front. Nick Gardner in that 16 car to his outside. Anthony Pelican, third position. Fourth spot, Dennis Faircloth to his outside. Eric Lambert in the 19 5th position. There's your points leader right there. Row number 3, 6th position, Alexander Pelican. 7th spot, it's going to give us the 00, Kevin McGarvey. Then we've got the 12 to his outside, Michael Newman. 5-car Alan Dice, who's not on the grid yet. Trying to get him up there. I'm not sure if he's having an issue or what. But the 42 car to his outside, there's Alan Dice. There he is right there. So the 8 car, Cody Atkins, going to start in the 11th position. 12th spot's going to go to the 40 car. It's Robert Gilmore. Dennis Steele, 28 car, going to start in 13th with Dallas Sullivan in the 46 to his outside. 15th spot, 21 car, Justin Carey. And then Nathaniel Ostrowski, the 14. New paint scheme on that machine tonight. A little Husqvarna. 34 car, Thomas Brindle. That was pushing him a little bit in practice. He looks like he's got some confidence this week. Nick Starling going to start in the 18th spot. Christopher Santoni had a rough week last week, but here he is. He's going to start in the 19th position. Jeremiah Vincent to his outside. And then we've got, looks like the 39 car, Timmy Emanuele, whoever's supposed to be beside him, not on the grid yet. 71 car. Just behind them. I believe it threw me out there and kind of messed with the polling there. That's my bad, guys. And then to round out your field, 13 car, Jordan Scheffler, below the double yellow right there. So you said there's going to be some excitement here at Talladega, and I can't say that you're wrong, but at the same time, there's a lot of frustration. Some of these drivers get caught back here in the pack, and it can get really frustrating really quick when you're sitting 3 wide, can't go anywhere, you're running 12th place the entire time. You almost have to be better on pit road with your strategy to even make up any ground.
Yeah, that is true. Once they get racing side by side, unfortunately, the third lane doesn't really work well in iRacing, at least in the Xfinity car right now. And so we should see some pit strategy if we get green flag stops. Hopefully we will. Tires don't mean a whole lot, so a lot of guys are just going to take fuel and maybe 2 tires or even no tires, depending on how much fuel they need. So definitely a lot of ways to try to get your way to the front.
Yeah, no tires is one strategy. Pitting with your teammates is another one. Making sure that you come down with that guy that's guaranteed to push you so you don't get left behind. So here we go, going into turn 3, 43, Garrett Austin. Getting ready to line him up, and there's a guy that did really well at Daytona on his outside. He doesn't have a lot of help right now. 98 is there on the inside, some teammates, but kind of spread out a little bit. You got the 31, the Pelican brothers, they're kind of broke up. The start's going to be dictated by what the 43 does, and I think if I'm the 43, I'm just going to kind of hold the brake a little bit and not jump out too far ahead of that 98 car and let that 16 get in that mix. Long front straightaway, and if you're not familiar with Talladega, start-finish line is after the dog leg in the tri-oval. So where we would typically see a photo finish here in the middle of this turn, these guys still have another turn to run it out before they cross. We've seen some close finishes here at Talladega. I think tonight will be no different. Geico restart zone getting really close. Here they go. Green flag is out. We're live, BTDY, Talladega. Right out the gate, you see the 98 of Anthony Pelican get right up on the bumper of the 43. They're still going through the gears here. 4th gear really tall at this place.
Yeah, it looks like outside lane might be a little bit more connected. And that bottom lane is going to get that run shorter way around and probably a little more organized, deeper through the field.
Well, they looked really connected coming off of 2, but then they split up. There's a little gap between Alex Pelican and the 12 and Newman, but that's enough for the 16 of Nick Gardner to get down in front, and I think he's going to lead lap 1. Big push, though. Anthony Pelican on the outside, or on the inside, and Alex Pelican on the outside, pushing Dennis Faircloth. 43 is not connected to the 16, but there's still enough momentum. I think it's going to be close here at the line for lap 1. Wow.
I can't tell.
0.04 of a second. It's going to go to Nick Gardner, so there's a lap lead. But you can see the Pelican boys are split up, and, You know Alex wants to get up there. The less cars you have in front of you, the less you have to worry about if there is an accident. But right now, they're spread up. Almost 3 wide back here. Yeah, Dallas, Sullivan, 40 cars stuck on the outside. He's going to get left out to dry, I think. Robert Gilmore.
See the, what car is that? Taking a 3 wide, a 40 car.
He's going to slide down behind Nick there, but they let him in. I know that a lot of patience, give and take right now. The 9 car let him in. Jeremiah Vincent let him in there for a second.
Yeah, I was trying to get a better look. Sorry, taking a 3 wide there. Really no help. You'll get thrown back so quick. And I was talking before the race. Looks like those Simulator Anonymous guys are working with Vincent Motorsports, Jeremiah and Lane, I think, are the only guys in the field tonight. But it should be a big group of guys, so don't be surprised if we see all of them bunch up together at once and try and make their way through the field.
I'll tell you what, thundering around this place, 40 car, he's back in the group, but let's go back up front here. So we've got some shoving going on. Dennis Faircloth able to get in front of the 16. And I think he's going to lead lap 3. On the outside, Dallas Sullivan and Nick Starling trying to get that outside lane moving. He didn't leave him out to dry this time, but that's going to be a tough venture. You've got probably 12 cars in rows to the inside of you right now that are pretty connected on that bottom line.
Yeah, they're going to need about 3 or 4 cars really to get that high, that third lane working with how many cars, like you said, are below them. It's just so tough. You have to be really well organized if you want to make any bit of speed.
Look at that shuffle, though. The 42 able to get up to the 4th position. That was a great move by Kyle McGarvey. He went that outside. They split the line. The 7 and the 42 tried to get back in, and he just said, oh, there's a spot. I'm taking it.
Yeah, obviously some big organization between the front guys there to shift them down like they did. And that's what it takes a lot of times at these tracks. The bigger the group of guys you're working with, the more success you'll have.
Hard to decide where you want to be. The 31 of Alex Pelican was able to get down on the inside, so he's in the right spot now. Michael Newman there. See him 3rd. But Dennis Faircloth shoving the 42, and they get a little wiggle there. That could have been detrimental.
Line. Yeah, his outside line's coming with a big head of steam. 42 cuts it down in front of 16. See Dennis Faircloth a little bit far ahead, and they're gonna float on back a few spots. But the inside line isn't really that organized. Kind of just shuffling a little bit. Allow him to stay in line with about that 3rd or 4th car.
Well, we've seen a product of cars overheating very quickly. It only takes about 2.5 laps for this thing to start getting hot. So for the 31 of Alex Pelican, he's probably getting warm. He can't shove the 16 like he wants to. And that outside line, man, they just keep getting reorganized. There's a new guy in the front every time, so that means there's a new pusher. And you're going to see this shuffle back and forth as you see the 16 getting pushed by Faircloth. Faircloth's got a couple different guys up there. He just wants to go with him, you know?
Yeah, once you get these things heated up, it's pretty tough to cool it down, especially on that inside line. If you're 2 or 3 cars back on the inside, there's really just no room for you to get air, and you have no choice but to just back out of the throttle and kind of float back from the guy in front of you. And just slows everyone down.
We're coming up on lap 7 out of 60. And I'm sitting back here looking at Nick Starling. He's went with a couple different people. He had Dallas Sullivan. He had the 40 of Gilmore. And it just seems like every time they try to get that third line going, no one's jumpy enough right now. I think when you see 10 to go, you'll start seeing those guys start taking that line. There's the 80 right there, as I say that. Dennis Faircloth out by his lonesome.
I know, when you get a run, you want to make that move because it just feels so good. You don't want to have to check up, but no help behind, you'll go absolutely nowhere really quick.
Like hitting a brick wall. Now this big gap here on the inside line, so I think the outside's going to take over. You're going to see a lot of passing here in just a second. Oh, Faircloth gets loose. He really wants the outside to go.
Yeah, it looks like the car's kind of grouping up towards the high line. Isn't really typical in iRacing, but obviously we see that a lot in real life. But a lot of times the inside line can make up pretty good ground with few cars if they move the high line like that. So I'm not surprised to see this in line get bunched back together. But see the 80 to the outside again. He's got a car behind him with a 19.
So Eric Lambert's finally going to take the bait here, see if they can push, because there's not a lot of organization. I think the outside line has a better chance. Well, he pulls back down. I think they're testing the waters. After a few laps, you're going to get a feel for what that line's capable of doing if you get a good enough run. I could see the 80 car absolutely going up there on that outside if he had a taker immediately and passing 2 or 3 of these guys getting up to the front.
Yeah, the other thing I see is the first 3 cars on the high line are all dialed in racing cars, and those guys behind them that kind of poked out right there are all Sim 8-on cars. And oh, you see the 80 in the wall right there.
He got a little bit of a block maybe from the 98 and the 16 coming up. They're trying to keep that air.
Yeah,
obviously it a little bit.
Some teamwork going on, but man, only lap 9 is pretty early to try to be testing that 3rd line. But hey, if you can make it work, then go for it.
So coming up on lap 10, and these guys are probably going to get about, what, 17, 18 laps on fuel? I'm not sure exactly. You guys run 100% in this league, correct? So it might be more than that. They might make it in one stop.
Yeah, I know on Tuesdays we run like 80, I think. They used to run 70 in here, but I'd have to double check for this year. Either way, yeah, even then you're probably getting 20 something, so.
It's going to be close. It's going to be really, really close, but Faircloth, man, he's got the nose there on the outside now. He's got a lot of takers. These guys realized that there was 3 dialed-in cars up front, and they said, that's enough of that. We're going to get up there. 19 Lambert, 80 of Faircloth. Also got another guy there, 00. Kevin McGarvey. They're trying to get it going.
Yeah, just looked up real quick. 80% fuel for these guys tonight. So it should be, I want to say mid to high 20s maybe.
But I just want to throw out Kyle McGarvey's done a great job. He's got Michael Newman behind him. They've done a great job with that 43 that started on the pole. It's Garrett Austin. I believe that might be the first time that we've said that name here at BTDY.
Yeah, I think you're right. New name here, new number, new car. Man, this Highline is just not organized at all. See, a 19 might got a little loose entering the corner there. It's just, I know they want to get past these down-in guys, but man, it's just going to take a lot of work to make that 3rd line work.
Well, you can see them, they're shoving as hard as they can. 19 car, he's glued to the bumper. Let's go on board with the 19 real quick. Show you the turbulence that these cars go through. 98 was breathing it there for a second. Any ground that they make up on these straightaways seems like they're losing it tremendously through the turns, and it's just not. And then 98 and 16, they kind of come up there on the backstretch, break that momentum, and if you're Faircloth, you can't drive through them. But at the same time, you're going to have to put your nose in there. One of these times, late in the race, you're just going to have to hold your ground.
Yeah, look how many cars are there now in that middle line. If you're going to make that 3rd line work, you got to really time corner exits, be right on the bumper of the guy in front of you. It's just still so tough. But they are making it work, as I say that. About even with the 16 car at the line. And as we'll see.
Got a car length here to the lead. He's got one guy in front of him, and that's Alex Pelican. I think they're going to have enough of a push down this backstretch. They might have figured something out here after 13 laps.
Yeah, I'm really expecting more cars needed to make that 3rd line work.
Well, some of these guys, there's a shuffle now. 31 drops down in front of the 42. 16 out there, he's going to start getting a shove. So I think the momentum's going to break for the outside now. 16 was probably getting hot.
Yeah, probably some teammate coordination saying, hey, hop down real quick, let me get some air. Now these two guys just want to control the field.
They timed it perfectly, and you know that that was orchestrated. They did it well. That's how you run places like this. Alex Pelican getting a lap led there, that time by. We're sitting back here with Eric Lambert, and he's now since shuffled all the way back to about the 10th position. He might consider dropping down in that middle if he wants to hold his ground. We got contact. 98-80 car. I got Harry.
And it's so early for those type of moves. You want to get to the front, but dang, man, it's real hairy when you're 3 wide, entering and exiting these corners. Car can get light, maybe through a tri-oval, and you see him filter back now, get in line.
So lap after lap, this dialed-in race team figured it out. They do really well here, and picture-perfect race for Nick Gardner and both the Pelican boys at Daytona. You couldn't ask for a better race for Nick Gardner. He got his first win of the season, and last week pulled off his second one at Las Vegas. So he's on the hunt here, and he wants a third one to go into the chase. It would be great.
Yeah, see the 16 jumped to the high line there. 98.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they got shuffled out there. Emanuele got into the middle. They might have got pushed out.
Just seems a little uncharacteristic of them. Their team at the front.
Well, I think the 28 and the 39, our teammates are affiliated with the dialed-in boys. So that would make a little bit of sense. I want to say Dennis Steele's definitely associated with them. If they can fan out and take up all 3 lanes, it's going to be really tough for anyone to get up there.
Yeah, that's the thing about super speedway racing. If you get your buddy alongside you, you can really control the race. If you got 3 of you, then you are controlling the race.
26 car having a great rebound this week. That's Christopher Santoni. Finds his way up into the top 10 here just shortly. He's running. He is having a great run here. Look at him go. 16 car. They might be getting ready to pit. I could be wrong on that, but they're shuffling down to the inside, so they might be predicting pit road.
Yeah, it's possible. 17 to go. I would think they'd be able to get more. But even if you can make it to 20 just so you don't have to pit twice.
Well, it's 60 laps. I think, man, 20. I think if you pushed it to 34s, 35, you might be able to. I don't know. That's going to be close. I think this is a 2-stop race. I don't know their exact fuel mileage, so.
Yeah, you're right. I don't think they can make it to 30. But, yeah, probably a 2-stopper. And really, you can try to save, but, you know, end of the day, you can't really save that much in the pack. And you can't save that many laps to try to make it, you know, a 1-stopper race.
So I want to talk about Michael Newman. He struggled a little bit this year, had a great race at Daytona, and then got cut short. 12 car finds himself up here in the top 5. If we were going to make a pick, I would like for Michael Newman to have a breakout race here, get him a win, lock himself in. And I might be a little biased. I do like that paint scheme. I think that's an awesome paint job on that machine. So, very noticeable on the track. I think he just needs to get her in the right spot at the right time. Dennis Faircloth behind him. Faircloth had a great rebound. We were able to interview him. I believe it was at Watkins Glen. Of all places. It was the track where he should turn right, and he's been turning right all season, he said. Oh, 31, all the way down on the apron. Something happened there.
So he going with the rest of his teammates to the back of the field?
Maybe. That could be the case. I know there's a big gap there. There's a nice hole for him, so that could be what happened.
Got a couple teammates right behind him. Back on the 80 car, you're right. We always talked about how well he qualifies in this series. It really hasn't had the finishes to back him up, but he did a great job at Watkins Glen. Fought hard for that third place finish.
Everybody's shuffling around now. I think we're getting ready for pit road. You see a lot of those inside lines completely dissipated. 12 car all by his lonesome. There's Emanuele to come up behind him.
Got a lot of cars on the outside lane. You see the 9 Jeremiah Vincent kind of stuck there in the middle. I just find that a little surprising. You got guys working the very high lane now.
Oh boy, 19 Lambert kind of squeezing the 9 car. He's running out of real estate.
I think he might maybe kind of think he's clear, but can't make his mind up.
Well, he's got to stay in line with those guys in the 42. Oh, there's the contact. That's what I was worried about.
They keep her straight. Jeremiah's making up positions in the middle.
Big move. Up there to the 42 now. Kyle McGarvey, he said, I'm going to shove now. And the 9 knows his way in there.
Wow.
They kept leaving it open. I guess you can't blame the 9 for doing that.
I just can't believe he was able to make the speed there. Don't go to the high lane. Stay in the middle.
One heck of a push there by the 9. Jeremiah Vincent pushing Kyle McGarvey on the outside. Newman's probably going to lead this lap, though. Good for him. Emanuele down on the bottom.
Yeah, I think that just goes to show that third line just really doesn't make the speed that you might think it could. Jeremiah is able to stay there, single car through the middle and push his way to the front.
We could be entirely wrong here. The DNA, it has happened before. We've tried to predict pit road many, many times, and we're never right. So for those of you out there that are watching this broadcast and think these guys have absolutely no idea what's going on, you would be right.
The 19 just shot to the bottom on that back stretch. I don't know if he got loose or he just wanted to make the move, but he took it to the bottom. It's Jeremiah down there. I believe they are in the same channel as McGarvey, so some teamwork maybe to get to the bottom and get ready for this pit cycle that we're not going to predict, but it's probably coming up soon.
Yeah, we're not going to guess it right. We've predicted it twice, and we're not even close. But falling back, I watched the 31, the 16, the 98. They fell back. They're sitting in about the, 15th position back. It just doesn't seem like that was the time to do it. They were controlling the race, leading some laps. Maybe they were all going for a lap lead, get those bonus points, and they were going to start shuffling back. I don't know. I don't know the game plan, but what I can tell you is it's a big tandem of cars up there, and if they all pit together and get on and off pit road, if any one of these 3 guys back here have an issue on pit road, it's over.
Yeah, maybe they just didn't feel comfortable about the front of the pack. You know, you can kind of, a lot of times, at least my strategy coming in is to feel out the racing kind of front to mid pack, and if you don't like it, it feels just a little too hairy for you, you can drop your way to the back. And obviously, with the speed they have, the teammates, they'll be able to make their way up pretty quick.
That's one thing that you rely on, is having teammates to be able to push you, be able to get around this place. If any one of those guys gets left behind, it's every man for himself. You can't go back in time and fix their pit road entry if they get a speeding penalty or they slide through their box. It is what it is. You pray for a caution and you hope that guy can get back up to you. But at that point, I'm going to find my way around this place and pick another guy that I can run with. We see that all the time. That's Talladega in a nutshell. Double zero. Kevin McGarvey going to get up there in front of Kyle now. 13 car. I think he's climbed the most positions. He started in the very back. Jordan Scheffler up to the 3rd position right now.
Yeah, and isn't that just the best thing about Talladega? It's top 5 outside Jeremiah Vincent. We don't really talk about a whole lot week in and week out. And now we see them racing up front and battling hard for the lead.
Another car that's gained a lot of positions, the 34 Thomas Brendel. Let's get on board. I want you to read the back of this car in front of him. Maybe we can get a good angle of that. Help me out with the cameras here, Dennis. We'll go with Timmy Emanuele. It says, "Eat my flaming hot dust" on the back of that 34 car.
Maybe throw a little Cheeto dust out the window.
He's got Cheeto dust in his hands. I can tell you, he's swatting flies in there. It looks like he's all over the back bumper of the 13 right now. A lot of turbulence on these cars, man.
Chasing that bumper on them. It's tough, man. You see, you want to keep it straight on, square on a guy's bumper, but if he's moving and you move and the guy behind you moves, and next thing you know, the whole line is just wiggling back and forth. It's tough.
Yep, it looks like a hive of bees were in the back of the car, and you can see the 13 and 34 losing some ground now. The two McGarvey boys pulling away. Then you've got Jeremiah Vincent, Eric Lambert, Michael Newman. It's such an organized inside line. These guys got way too much spread on the outside. They're going to fall back.
And like you said, pit stops coming up sometime during this race. You can't.
Did they make it to lap 40? Like they're going to make it to lap 40? I don't even know. Like, split this run. 3 more laps and it's a one-stop race.
Yeah, I mean, if they're at this point, I think they're probably going to be able to split it in half.
We have no idea.
We do know they're going to pit sometime during this race, though.
I mean, some of these guys might have sent their pit crews home. I don't know.
It's dialed in guys sitting in the back telling the pit crew, "We don't need you this week. We're just hanging out here."
Making their own calls, 31, 16, 98. These guys, the top 3 in the points right now. You find themselves back in the 17th, 18th, and 19th position. Actually, 15th through 17th. And it's a product of the racing. You saw these guys up front going 3 wide at certain points and making some dicey moves early. It's since settled down a lot, though. It really has, and I think that might be a product of these guys just wanting to get around those dialed-in boys so bad that they were willing to try anything to break that tandem up.
Yeah, you know, they also could say, "Hey, we've won just about every race this season. How about we sit in the back for a little bit, give these boys a chance, and make our way up to the front towards the end of the race?"
Would be exciting. 13 car now. Scheffler all the way on the outside line. That's going to let Brendel in the middle. Emanuele and Dennis Steele. Man, this outside line is falling quick, and I think we're going to see some new takers. Here in a moment, you're going to see a new outside line develop. Just before pit stops, whenever that will be, you might see an outside run by a couple of guys. Lap 29, they're not coming down. I think they're going to go to 30, 31.
Guess we're going to see one stop tonight. I'm surprised these guys at the top still haven't got to the bottom. That kind of shows you that, you know, they're not pressured too hard to get down for gas yet.
So War Bovine says it's time to reach out and make new friends. I think that's kind of the case here with this outside line. They want some new friends up there. They've lost a lot of their momentum. Still hanging with about the top 5. They're right on the edge of it. And that 9 car tonight, I don't know what's going on with Jeremiah Vincent's connection. He has blinked out a little bit. It's not been too bad. He has been running like, 7, 8 laps and not having an issue. But hopefully that connection can clear up. Because if he gets out front, no one knows where he is. That could be detrimental to the whole field. Kevin McGarvey leading this thing. Kyle McGarvey behind him. He's the gatekeeper right now for the rest of this pack. I know he's got to be getting hot, though. He has not left that bumper for about 10 laps. We're at halfway.
Yeah, still just waiting for pit stops here at halfway. This guy's on the outside, still racing hard, trying to stay even with that bottom line.
Thomas Brindle is having a great race. There's a 12 car. There's some takers.
12 car coming in. Anybody, yeah, if you guys behind him. Ooh, he's locking it hard.
16
Ooh,
almost
16.
in the grass.
You have to watch pit penalties. If these guys stay a little bit long and serve a penalty.
This is what I was talking about. If one guy makes a mistake, it's, you know, you're going to have to leave him behind, but I think he's going to be okay. He's hitting his teammate into pit road. Oh, no, the 98 slides and stall. Lots of mistakes on pit road here.
Really curious. Is the 12 car going to stay? There goes the...
12 cars on a penalty.
12 cars got a penalty. Yeah, you're right.
16 able to get away with it.
Teammates racing out, man. That's the bummer for the 12 car. We got a whole stack of guys pitting this time by. They're 4 wide coming on the pit road.
Wow. This is going to be hard to sort out, huh?
I think everybody got it loaded up in time. I can't tell who that was. That Kevin McGarvey in the very front. He locked him up, but I think he was able to get down to pit road speed. We'll have to see. That 00 car. Yeah, yep, he's off.
McGarvey brothers, they're coming out together, and there's the 19 Lambert. 43, the pole sitter. He's going to come out. Here comes the tandem of cars that pitted first. Man, did they get on and off pit road well.
They did, with only 3 cars in their tandem. We'll have to see. I don't think they're going to be able to make up the time that this big pack will once they get situated. They might get a little bit of a jump out here out the corner, but maybe not.
Got another group of cars led by Dallas Sullivan. There's Alan Dice coming into pit road. Faircloth.
Everybody makes it down there smooth. It's pretty fast pit road speed, 60 miles an hour. I know every time I come here, I gotta readjust myself and be sure to hit the brakes a little earlier than you think.
Uh-oh. Faircloth lost a little time here on pit road. He took right side. Some of these guys, I don't think they took any tires.
Yeah, the car is handling fine. We haven't really seen too many guys get loose or anything, so the car is feeling pretty good. Hey, who needs them?
So you can see that tandem of cars on the outside. You've got the McGarvey boys running the inside. They got together in time, but... Oh, boy. Dallas Sullivan, he might want to drag the brake a little bit and get that 8 car up on his bumper. 3 wide as they go into turn 3.
You got the Pelicans and the McGarveys kind of merged together now, and that third group's trying to get their speed going.
There they go.
Yeah, I think everybody kind of filtered out to where they were, right? Aside from the Pelicans dialed in, they were kind of towards the back, but...
Yep, they were on and off pit road a little bit quicker than everybody else. Benefits of pitting with your teammate. Man, did they make it close, though. 16, almost getting a penalty for unsafe entry. And McGarvey brothers stuck on the outside. They've got the 43 in that pole sitter, though. And I know he's hungry to get back up there.
Yeah, 26 to go. It's just a sprint to the finish. Don't need to worry about fuel. Don't need to worry about tires. Just get with your teammates and start pushing hard.
There's Jeremiah Vincent, who was up front a little bit ago. He's running behind the 19 of Lambert, and they're coming up on the outside line. 5 car, Alan Dice. But here's a tough break here for the 12 car, Newman. I think we're back here with all the guys that might have got penalties on pit road. They've tandemed up. But it's a long stretch. 14
Tough break for
seconds.
him. At least he does have a pack of cars with him. He didn't go a lap down. But man, it's always a bad feeling. Couldn't lead coming down pit road.
We're 3 wide, 42, and there's the accident. 16 sideways. He's got some rear end damage.
Hard.
Oh man, Jeremiah Vincent end over end. Jeremiah on his roof.
Man.
The hood is gone. That thing is toast.
Still rolling.
Wow.
Oh, he gets settled. 42
25.
smoking.
25 laps to go here. They were 3 wide down the backstretch. I just cut the camera back, and it looked like the 42 of Kyle McGarvey got into the side of somebody. Let's go back and take a look. So here we are, sitting on the backstretch. Let's run the wide camera. 42's pushing the 00, shoved him up out of the line. And I think maybe the 00 thought, nope. 42 got into him.
42 come up right there?
Yep, 42 got up into him. So let's go back and watch it one more time here. You see the contact, initial contact here. 00 gets a little touch. Oh, and that just shoots the 31 down to the bottom of the track, inside wall.
Just
16
hard hit.
16 almost escaped, man.
Yeah. Got a little damage in the rear.
Let's ride
It's
on
just
board
really
with the 9.
weird. Yeah.
He almost got through it, man. He almost got through it with minimal damage, but
Looked
that
like
clip
he
there.
was. Yeah, it looked like he was clear going. Just gets clipped in the quarter.
He looked
Yeah, I
like
thought
shoes in the dryer, man. Shoes in the dryer there.
It's really weird though. That 12 car kind of just came up right there into the 00. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
See it one more time. We got to go back, and I got to see what happened to the 16 of Nick Gardner, because he looked like he was through it. He just got past the first bit of the accident, and I think he got clipped again. He lost a lot of his momentum and got some rear end damage right here. And it looked like he was through it, and then the 9 car. That's what threw him up.
Oh.
The 9 threw up into the air.
Wheel to
Man, that
wheel
was some
contact
net code.
right there, maybe.
I guess, and net code issue. I don't know.
Yeah.
That really threw him up in the air.
Yeah. That
like a
guy just shot up there.
Force field around the 16 car. Don't touch that thing.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got some guys on pit road. They're going to get their machines dialed back. I tell you what, that broke up that tandem. 31 car's got some damage. To the 98 of Anthony Pelican. He's got some front end.
God damn it.
Those boys that worked up there, and then we had a bunch of fast cars get taken out of this. 00, the 42, he's out for the night. 9 car, Jeremiah Vincent's out for the night.
Eric Lambert is leading the field right now, but he's got damage from that all.
I think we're going to have a hard time finding a car that doesn't have damage.
Yeah. I think the 7's clean, it looks like. 46 is clean.
26 car looks a little clean. I think we can go back and look at him. And 46.
And, yeah.
Dallas Sullivan. Now, I tell you what, though. This guy right here, he's thankful for this caution. He's able to catch back up to these boys.
Yeah, good. Big break for him. Yeah, I think we got about maybe half the field clean or so.
A lot of cars got caught up in that, and you see the 34 car. He was having a great run. Front end completely missing on that machine. I don't think he'll have to worry about it overheating, but I don't think he'll be able to push. There we go, caution. With about 25 to go, this is BTDY. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back after this.
Sailor Tarot Magic is the spot to get a reading from Sally, an intuitive healer and tarot reader. Known as the nurturing reader at New Jersey street fairs, you can also check out our YouTube channel for lunar and astro readings, as well as our Instagram for live weekly readings. Her rates are affordable, and you will leave with a newfound perspective. Sally is now offering an introductory class on tarot cards and intuition, and is available for parties. Call or text 732-314-0777 to schedule your reading today.
I tell you what, we timed that one perfectly. Chat, we're looking good. 24 laps to go. We're getting ready to go green. Eric Lambert with a little bit of left front damage. Oh my God, Amber Alert. My phone went off there for a second. Oh, I hate that sound. Boy, do I hate that sound. 19 Eric Lambert inside of the 46 Dallas Sullivan. We're green back here. Martin Sports 160. Presented by Simulators Anonymous. Man, that 19 car, he got out to a big jump. He's going to get up in front of the 46 of Dallas Sullivan. And there goes Dallas Sullivan to the inside already.
Yeah, so Lane really didn't go anywhere with the 19 there on the bottom. Obviously, 19 got a big jump, but I think it was that big, and guys are already trying to filter him out.
Back here at the 98 car, he's all by his lonesome. He's got nobody wanting to work with him. All those dialed in boys that damage left and right, they're going to get hooked back up, I guarantee it. But, man, there's the 98. Here's the 31 car. He's got some front end damage. And the 16, man, he's got some really bad rear end.
Yeah, you know, one of the worst things about having damage at a super speedway is not the actual damage itself. It's just the guys around you are going to see that little bit of damage and won't want to push you. And they'll just try to pass you, and it's so incredibly frustrating. Trying to sell yourself like, hey guys, I'm fast enough. You don't need to try to pass me, and nobody wants to push the damage car.
Here it is, Garrett Austin, the pole sitter on the outside line. Looks like he had an opportunity. 21 car gets shuffled out. That's going to allow
by the 7.
Yeah, it was an excellent move. And that's going to leave the 21 completely out to dry. Faircloth gets up to the bumper of the 43. 7 saw that run coming. And he's going to use this to his advantage. He knows that 43 is fast. He was able to qualify up there on the pole. They are getting one heck of a run. 19 car with that slight amount of damage pushing Dallas Sullivan. And that might be the couple tenths of a second that the 7 car was concerned about during caution.
Yeah, Dallas Sullivan, we see out front. We talked about him a whole bunch there at the
80 car, sorry.
Yeah, blue car. Yeah, Faircloth up there. That blue car on the bottom was swerving around, but at the beginning of the season, we had the season opener and the clash and all that. We talked about Dallas Sullivan a whole lot, running up front, making moves, and unfortunately he didn't really get the finishing spot he maybe deserved, but now he's in position here tonight, running well up front.
Incredible to see the 9 car back out on the track after that spin cycle. No hood on that machine, but he's back out there putting laps down. He'll be spotted 2 laps down in the 21st position, but there's still a chance. He can go out there and pick up some spots. I don't think we're done. I don't think we're done with these accidents. Nick Starling on the outside, 43 Garrett Austin pushing him. Able to lead that time by for the 7.
Dennis Faircloth still trying to make that third line work. I don't really see it. I like the effort, but man, really need a lot of guys to get that line to work.
I think he needs 10 to go for anyone to try that. He might get these Pelican brothers up there. They might be willing to try anything right now.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's too wide like that. He's not going to go anywhere. Might as well take a 3, but now he's behind them. And
I mean, the body guys are already going to have to do some work this weekend, so might as well take it up there and see what you can get with it.
Hey, man, why not? Better than finishing 15th.
Riding on board with Nick Gardner, who's looking to have back-to-back wins this week. It's not looking pretty, but it is still possible. We could have another big wreck and these guys sneak through. I don't know. They're pretty grouped up here. 7 car with a big gap out here. Newman right on the bumper. What a rebound this guy had after that caution. Sullivan hanging on just barely, and I think maybe the 12 could come down if they're clear. But they're going to stay up on that outside line this time by Emanuele, pushing the 12, who's pushing the 7. They've almost got 3 cars cleared now, and look at the dialed in boys.
Yeah, man, they're just so organized, tight together. Pushing a 12 and a 7. The 16's got a good amount of damage, but it's mostly at the rear of the car. It shouldn't affect it too bad. I think if he stays in draft and these guys are that tight, I think he'll be just fine.
Faircloth sneaking up there to the outside again. There's Dice in front of him, 5 car. Running about the 8th, 9th position right now. Dallas Sullivan losing a lot of ground on that bottom line. I'm really surprised to see it that much of a gap. Oh, 16 not able to clear. This is not good for the 98. Emanuele back up on the outside. He saw it happening.
Yeah, that dialed-in guy's getting a little wild now, kind of going back and forth. I don't really like to see that. 6 jumps up in front of him. See
A lot
Dennis,
of jumping around.
Yeah, Dennis back on the 3rd lane. Now the
Starling
46.
would have been blocked. The 46, who just moved to the outside. Now it's 3 wide up front, but I think Dallas Sullivan going to get left out to dry. There's Faircloth. Finally a taker on the outside with him.
Yeah, I get the 46 for doing that, but I think you're just going to have to stay behind a 7. I know it's frustrating, but it's even more frustrating getting filtered back like that.
Here we go, 14 laps left, and these guys probably are going to fall in line for just a minute. Try to get their momentum built up. I think we're about to see a run on that 3rd lane here.
Yeah, it's kind of that weird time where you've been racing so hard, you kind of look down and you're like, oh man, we still got 14 to go. So you want to keep your position, but you don't want to race like it's the last lap yet.
Eric, was you just yawning there, buddy? I think there's a bigger gap right now with you yawning than there will be on that 3rd lane here in about 3 laps.
Oh man, I was trying to make it not too obvious.
It's all right, man. Full-time jobs, things happen. You were able to get settled in this week, though, right?
No, next week, but we're working
There's
on
always
it.
tomorrow. Always tomorrow. So here we go. Nick Starling leading this thing. We're winding down the laps. Emanuele pushing him. Newman on the bottom with a 19 of Lambert. Just impressed by these dialed-in guys with all the damage they have. The only guy that's not part of this tandem really is the 31 of Pelican, and he's kind of struggling a little bit.
Yeah, 13 to go. To me, that's too far back. Especially with, you don't really see any organized line like right in front of them. All the cars in front of them are kind of separated a lot. That worries me, and I wouldn't want to be in that position right now.
Maybe he thinks they're not done wrecking. We got the 7, the 12 side by side. This time by it looks like the 7 is going to lead it. Newman just needs that right timing by Eric Lambert to push. Back here with Alan Dice, he's biding his time. The 5 cars having a solid night. He's kept it up in the top 10 most of the day. You can see the Peach Vibe machine. Not so much vibe on the back of that car, but
he's still holding position pretty well for the amount of damage behind that. You get a little right front damage, I think.
these laps wind down. We haven't really seen anybody make a big move. Bearcloth's just been trying repeatedly. He's out there again. But every time he tries, dude, he loses another couple spots, and it just seems like it's not there. Nobody's willing to do it.
Yeah, I like the effort. You're not going to go anywhere. It's sitting, 5 cars back on that bottom line, but you need a lot of cars to make that work.
Problem is that he's fallen so far back now. If anyone does go with him on the outside, they're most likely going to be in front of him. Car down on the apron there. That was the 8 car. I thought for a second someone got shoved out of line, but that's just a car that's a lap down. He got down out of the way, so that was Cody Atkins. Freaked me out there for a second, Cody. Thought we were wrecking.
Yeah, it's kind of that awkward time where the Xfinity car and iRacing, when both lines get to rolling pretty well like this, it's kind of a standstill. The only way to make a move is to split a guy 3 wide, but doing that, you really risk wrecking everyone. So you don't want to do that unless you're really confident in it. Bottom line, you can't really go anywhere unless you find a slot up high, but if everyone's so close, you're not going to get that. It's kind of, if you're 2 or 3 cars back in a line, it's pretty frustrating.
There they are, 4 wide. Dallas Sullivan on the outside. There they are, touching the wall.
80 hard on the wall.
We got a car down on the apron. I don't know who that was. Might have been Scheffler. I don't know for sure. A lot of shuffling going on back there. Dennis Steele. Yeah, I think that was the car that was down on the apron.
Yeah, that kind of killed the back 5 or so cars' momentum.
Well, this is going to be perfect for these dialed-in boys that have been having all this damage and not very many contesters. I don't know. I'm going right here. Lane Stallfridge, he's had a quiet race, quiet night all evening, and right now he doesn't have a partner, but I think he's going to find that 5 car really appetizing here in a couple laps.
Yeah, he's kind of in that position where you expect them to all wreck off turn 3 or 4. If he can keep it clean, he can just full throttle through there and come out with the top 5. I think that's what he did on Tuesday nights at season opener, if I remember right. Just stayed clean like that. Everybody wrecked, and he came out, I think, 7th or so.
Christopher Santoni on that bottom line. He's behind the pole sitter. And then we got the 43 car, Garrett Austin. 19 holding his own with that little bit of damage. It's right on board with the 19. He's pushing the 12. This inside line staying decently organized, but Nick Starling just edging him out every lap, able to lead this time. But here we go. Coming up on 7 left, and I think, now I'm not 100% sure, but I think this tandem is going to break up here soon. 39 car looks like he might want to go with the 98.
Yeah, it's tough to see. These dialed-in guys are going to try to make an aggressive move. The 7 and the 12 are going to try to block it. 12 is the 12 part of dialed-in. Yeah, the 12 part of dialed-in, so maybe not, but man, Nick Starling, he owns this league, runs the league really well. We don't really see him up front that often. It'd be pretty cool for him to get a good finish tonight.
Would be great. 7 car, he's dominated the second half of this thing. Did it at the right time. We've run out of cars to really, I think, get too racy I think it's gonna come down to the 12 and the 7. They keep ticking them away, and nobody's really tried anything yet.
Yeah, the only thing, maybe that third line can get a run, but I don't think there's enough cars. Maybe if all of the out-in cars committed to that third line, they could pass the 7, kind of leave a no man's zone in the middle. But other than that, I just don't really know where you're going to go.
I can tell you this, there's not enough cars without damage on that outside, in my opinion. The straightest bumper out of the dialed-in guys is the 98 of Anthony Pelican. And even he's got front-end damage, so he gets out there by himself. What can he do? He's going to lose all that momentum.
Yeah.
Manueli doing a great job, though, keeping Starling up there.
This inside line isn't that well organized either. So it's like we got a high line with damage and an inside line that can't really stick it to each other's bumpers.
Might be keeping their options open. Little bit of a gap, maybe some shuffling around here. 5 laps to go. Martin Sports 160. If you guys like what you're watching right now, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Turn on your alerts. Myself and Eric Hutton will be bringing you live flag-to-flag coverage here at BTDY. Thank you to Simulators Anonymous and everyone that makes this league possible. Nick Starling, Alan Dice, everyone that organizes. And again, thank you, Eric Hutton, for coming up here and joining me in the broadcast booth. It's good to have you back, man.
Yeah, appreciate you having me. Let me back in each week.
I do want to shout out, we're coming down to the end of this thing, but quick shout out to V-Speed. They were willing to shout us out in Las Vegas. So if you guys haven't checked out their channel, V-Speed, they broadcast the Tuesday night racing for this league, the Premier Series. That'll go live at 8:35. And side by side with 4 to go, Newman on the bottom. That bottom line is starting to get a little organized now.
Yeah, you're right. They're definitely kind of back even with that high line, getting a lot closer on each other's bumpers. Definitely what you want to see. But even the 19 car, second car on that bottom line's got a little front end damage. I don't know. I think the 39 is clean, but then the 98 16 has damage. And it's going to be, I don't know, it's going to be interesting. It's hard to tell. I think if the 7 or 12 break away, both the lines are probably going to stall out with the front ends on those cars.
Working some camera magic. All the camera magic you can handle right now. Simulators Anonymous gearbox cameras on all these machines. It was expensive, but we've got them fitted. Nick Starling starting to lose ground. Newman starting to make headway. Who can push harder? Coming up on 2 to go.
That's another point. Hopefully you're talking to the guy behind you saying, hey, save your temps. Make sure they're at a point where here with 2 to go, you can push without watching that gauge to the point where it doesn't matter. These cars, you can break that bubble and get right on that guy pretty hard. I think you see the 39 on the back of the 7 really close. And you can see inside the car. 2 to go. If you play your temps right, you're at the point where you don't need to watch it. Just let it blink.
Well, it's all about timing. Here we go. White flag almost in the air. Will they make it around? It's looking like that's going to be the case. No one's tried any moves yet, but you see a little gap developing behind this middle line. 19 trying to break it up on that tandem. Here they go pushing. Newman to the bottom. 7 Starling on the outside. Manueli, Lambert, Pulsitter, 43 Garrett Austin trying to find some ground here down the backstretch. They're coming up on lap cars. This could really shuffle things up. 7 car down to the bottom. Contact. 39 tried to follow him. Big wreck. Big wreck. 12 car of Newman still has the momentum. 7 car Starling's leading this time through 3 and 4. White flag is out. 4 cars trying to make headway. 98 down to the block on the 21. It looks like Nick Starling. Oh, cars wrecking behind him. 98 down to the inside. He's in the inside wall. But as they come around, no one's got anything for the 7 of Nick Starling. And there's the win. BTDY. Race winner.
Eric Lambert in 3rd with no bumper on that car. Man, what happened on that last lap?
Let's take a look and go back. And I tell you what, man, it looked like the 39 tried to follow the 7 down to that inside line.
Yeah, I saw 7 come down. I wasn't sure what happened after that.
Maybe the 39 got a touch.
Did the 98 bump him right there?
I'm not sure. He might have had help. He might have got a little out of contact on that one. So got it from the blimp cam. Yep.
Is that just a bad bump or was? Yeah, I don't know if was the 39 pointed down maybe, and that bump kind of like accentuated the.
Let's look at it from the gearbox cam.
There he goes high.
Yep.
Comes back. I think when he came back, that sideways kind of momentum with that bump sent the 39 car down.
Oh man, the 39 flip it over end towards the end of this thing. It's not what you want to happen to anybody.
Yeah,
5-car Alan Dice clipped him. But then we had another wreck right after that, and I want to go look at the 98 car of Anthony Pelican. He came down to block the 21 here off of 4. He knew the 21 had momentum.
Yeah, I think he just wasn't clear and didn't care.
98 gets hard to the inside wall. 21 car able to rebound. Come out 5th position. But there it is right there. 7 car. Nick Starling able to pull it off. Newman. Really close battle. I think had they not broke up those tandems, would have been an interesting push here. Gets set to go back around the track, and Nick Starling definitely going to burn it down. Great run for him tonight. He led the vast majority of the second half of this race too, Eric.
Yeah, about time I saw a good run from him, man. Puts in a lot of work in this league. Glad it worked out.
Here he comes back to the front straight away. BTDY Racing League on the side of that machine. Pretty obvious that he's one of the league admins, and there he goes burning it down.
What's that on the apron?
Congratulations to that 7-car Nick Starling. Great job by all these guys that ran the vast majority of this race. Only 2 caution, well, 1 caution, and then a big wreck there on the white flag. But tell you what, man, great run by all these guys. This is BTDY. We're gonna get your top 3 post-race interviews, and we'll be right back after this. Kyle McGarvey on the bottom. 46. Dallas Sullivan has the room to push here. 80 car shoving hard. There's the block. There's the block into the outside wall. 746 wrecking now. 80 car maybe having to move. There's the block again. Oh. All right, we're getting down in victory lane. 7 car Nick Starling able to pull it off here tonight. Everybody wrecking behind you, and it was just a great feeling to set sail into 3. That just looked great.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, it was probably those like last 15 laps. Me and Timmy just tend to work really well at these super speedways anytime we get together and race in this league, and it just happened like 15 laps to go. I looked in my mirror and it was Timmy, and I just mic'd up to him. I was like, "Well, here we go again. Let's do it." And I felt like we kind of controlled that entire field in that middle lane. And every time we were coming out of the tri-oval, it seemed like we had the edge on them in that middle lane. So I mean, I obviously wish that I would have raced out to the line, because I think they're going to wreck behind us anyway. But just seemed like that middle line was really rolling. There was too much checking up on the bottom, and you were able to, shove off of 2 using that middle lane, and that's what Timmy was doing each lap, and we just got that edge off of each exit. So I hate that they wrecked behind us, but I definitely think I think we would have had them even if we raced it out.
Well, you led the last like 16 out of the 20 laps that we ran here at the end, and you and Timmy working really well together. Middle line, like you said, working really well, and seemed like you guys could get a run. Now, earlier in the race, we saw that big wreck, and that took out a lot of the guys that were controlling that front pack. Do you think had that not happened, would it have been a little bit tougher, or do you think that your game plan was just to get up front at the end?
Yeah, it would have definitely been a lot tougher, obviously, because I think the top 3 in points all got damaged in that wreck. So, but that's super speedway though, so like you can't say like obviously Alex has been, kind of running the series this season, but you put everybody out on a super speedway, it evens the field out for sure. So who knows? It definitely would have been a lot tougher. I don't even know if I'd have been in that position. Which it's funny if you look at the replay of that big wreck, me and Timmy had some unreal dodges to stay clean through it. So obviously, it's plate racing, so half of it's obviously, being able to go to the front and know what you're doing, and the other half's luck. So it was lucky enough to be up there, and then lucky enough to cross the finish line first.
So we're going back. We're trying to get the replay that you're talking about, and the dodges through this field. There was multiple instances all the way through where you just kind of had to pucker up, right?
Right. And Timmy kind of stayed like on the track, and he was kind of dodging, and I was like on the apron dodging. So I know he had a very close call, and then I had one as well. But I mean, I feel like when you win one of these things, no matter what league you're racing in, and any kind of super speedway race, you're gonna have to dodge a wreck or 2 to be there at the end to race for the win.
Well, great run tonight. We're going on board with you, and it's good to see you up front. I'm really digging that quarter panel on that machine. You should really put that logo over the entire car one race. Just one race.
Just wrap the whole thing. Yeah, I mean, so you got 8 spinning here. Biggest thing for me is I'm looking to the right during this entire wreck, and then I think it's the 34. He's going to come spinning here at the very end towards me.
Yeah, there was a lot of cars. Even you see Jeremiah Benson on the.
Here we go, right here. I thought this was going to be the one that clips me up, and we barely dodged that one. You see, look at the right.
Yep.
There's
Manuele.
Timmy. Yep. So that's plate racing. Me and him got lucky to get through that, and to the front we went.
10-4, man. Do you got anybody you'd like to shout out for tonight's victory and that great performance?
Man, so I would be very wrong to not shout out Black Flag Photography if you zoom in on that 39 tonight. Man that pushed me to the win. He's got it on his car wrapped up. There he is. Yeah, so got to definitely shout him out. Photography business, doing good stuff at the racetrack and all. So everybody go give his page a look. Ats on the car, on his Facebook and everything. shout out to the admins, obviously. Loaded Admin Racing running strong up front tonight. And then obviously DNA Broadcasting. Y'all two have been absolutely killing it for us this season. And then obviously our sponsor, Simonon, Martin Sports sponsoring this race tonight. And everybody who makes this league possible. It's pretty awesome to run a limited schedule in a contender series and get one here at Talladega. It's pretty special.
We thank you for your time. We hope to be able to talk to you next week, and we look forward to many future broadcasts with you, Nick.
Yeah, man, me too. Y'all keep killing it. Obviously, y'all will, no doubt.
Appreciate that. All right, there's your race winner, 7-car. Nick Starling able to get it done. We're going to burn it down with him one more time because that thing just had no back tires when it was over with. You know it. That's the idea behind that, right?
That's usually the goal.
All right, let's get our second place finisher up here. 12-car, Michael Newman. You were down there on that inside line, and it just seemed like it couldn't get organized enough. You had the 19 of Lambert pushing you, and it just seemed like there wasn't enough momentum there. And then after all those cars wrecked, you found yourself in a decent position, but I don't know, man. It just seemed like the guys weren't there on the inside.
Yeah, I'm not real sure what was going on behind us. I know we would get the run coming into the corner, middle of the corner. Then I would start seeing the outside line kind of creep up corner exit, and they would have the speed on the straightaway. But still felt really good there going in the last lap. Just, I don't know, good. Emmanuel's a good teammate. I mean, you got Starling the win there. That's really all I gotta say.
Well, it's good to see you have a breakout race. And Michael, we've been watching you. You had a decent run going at Daytona, and it got cut short. But outside of that, man, it just seems like some of these intermediate tracks. What's going to be the recipe here to get you back up in the top 5?
Same thing. Don't get, slammed tonight. I got Daytona taken out by a teammate. I got net coated, kind of hooked early in the race last week when I thought I had a really good car. So it's honestly, it's just hoping that people around me can learn how to race and go from there.
10-4, man. Well, we appreciate your time. Michael, do you have anybody you'd like to shout out and thank for tonight's second place?
Yeah, shout out to the IRL team. All great teammates. We've had a great run there. Finally broke the streak of us winning. Shout out to the league. It's still a fun league to be in. It's just frustrating constantly having stuff like that happen. And then obviously you guys putting on a great broadcast as well, and all the sponsors for the league. So a lot of fun, and hope to keep the momentum next week.
Well, I tell you what, man, go hit that thumbs up button. We appreciate your time. We hope to talk to you next week.
Thank you, man. Have a great night, guys.
You too. All right, there's your second place finisher, and you got one more. Here it is. Eric Lambert is hustling down pit road. This is why I like you around here, Eric, because you run down pit road and catch anybody before they get on their haulers. So take it away.
Yes, sir. Eric Lambert bringing it home P3. Getting kind of sort of involved in one wreck. Missing the wreck there at the end. Taking it home third spot. Talk about your night. How was it?
My nerves are shot. We had a plan with the simulator anonymous drivers and the VMS boys, and until that one caution, it was all going to plan. But I guess Netco got the better of the McGarvey brothers.
Yeah, we kind of paid attention. You guys trying to make that highline work against Dialed In boys there for a little bit. Were you able to get that line running at all? It was tough to tell from our position. It seemed like.
It seemed like once we all kind of got organized up there early in that run, when I was pushing Dennis around the top line, by the time we kind of figured out how we were going to be able to make that run, I started overheating a little bit, so I had to back out. And then that's kind of when we were like, well, we'll just need to funnel to the bottom and prepare for pit stops, and try to get on and off clean as a group. And it seemed, like I said, it seemed to all be working until that incident.
Yeah, it was temperatures hard to deal with tonight. We kind of saw some guys maybe not push as hard as what you would expect to see it with the Xfinity cars here?
Uh, it wasn't really all that hard if you kind of had a knowledge of what you were doing. Like there at the end when I was pushing Newman, I was trying to help him manage that gap with Starling and Timmy, and I was also trying to manage my heat. I think I turned yellow, or my temp gauge turned yellow with like 10 to go. I backed off a little bit, and then with 3 or 4 to go, I I just glued to the Newman's bumper the best I could, and I came around we entered turn one on the last lap. My water temp was 271, and I was like, I'm either gonna blow it up or we're gonna get a good finish tonight.
Oh, we're heading off to Dover next week, about the polar opposite of Talladega. How do you feel about that?
Well, I would say that I hate Dover, but I seem to say when I hate a track, I seem to do all right at it. Uh, I'm just gonna try to keep my nose clean. This is the best run I've had in this league, whether it be the Cup car or the Xfinity car, and my goal is to continue staying top five in the points and see if I can't pull up some upsets.
All right, man. Anybody you want to give a shout out to or thank?
Yeah, all the simulators anonymous drivers. First and foremost, Dennis Faircloth, the McGarvey brothers, my boy Happy, uh, Justin Carey, and then all the VMS guys, Jeremiah, Lane, yourself. I think we've got a pretty good alliance going on. You two for broadcasting, put on an amazing broadcast. I watch it pretty much when I get off for the night. Um, the sponsors of the league, Simulators Anonymous, go check us out today. Uh, simulatorsanonymous.com, Martin Sports, BTDY, and then but not least, my two beautiful children, Hunter and Ella. Daddy loves y'all and can't wait to see y'all at Christmas time.
Hell yeah, man. It's a good race to watch from our
I'll
perspective,
be
and
there. I'll be there, buddy.
we'll talk to you hopefully next week.
No, you'll see me tomorrow night, Eric.
Oh, yep,
19,
yep. That's
19
right.
Camry's making a return.
Oh, well, excited to have you out there. Hopefully it's a good one.
All right. Later, y'all.
See ya.
There's your third place finisher. And shout out to V Speed. If you guys want to catch another broadcast here at BTDY, the premiere series will be live tomorrow night at 8:35. That's Eastern time for me. I don't know what time you're on, Eric, but that's Eastern time for me.
Yeah, we're on tornado time here in the Midwest, so 1 hour behind you.
Till then, we're going to Dover next week in the B car. BTDY is going to take the monster mile, one lap at a time. Again, congratulations to Nick Starling for pulling off that win. Great race all around. I had a good time. Eric Hutton, I know you had a lot of fun. We're going to sign off here tonight. Take you guys one more time through all the commercial breaks and all the fancy stuff, all the overlays, the things that we've put in, and thank all the sponsors for this league. And we'll see you next time. Take care, everybody.
Sailor Tarot Magic is the spot to get a reading from Sally, an intuitive healer and tarot reader, known as the Nurturing Reader at New Jersey Street Fairs. You can also check out our YouTube channel for lunar and astro readings, as well as our Instagram for live weekly readings. Her rates are affordable, and you will leave with a newfound perspective. Sally is now offering an introductory class on tarot cards and intuition, and is available for parties. Call or text 732-314-0777 to schedule your reading today.